The ICU smelled like antiseptic and fear. I lay still in the dark, eyes closed, chest rising and falling like a man barely holding on. The ventilator hummed. The monitors beeped their slow rhythm. I'd been awake for 20 minutes, but nobody knew that yet. I heard the door open. Soft footsteps, expensive shoes on linoleum, my son Travis. He moved to the side of my bed. I felt his breath near my face. Then his hand reached past my shoulder, and I heard the click, the oxygen line disconnecting from the wall port. The alarm would take 90 seconds to trigger. Hospital protocol. I knew because Marilyn had worked ER administration for 15 years. Travis leaned close. His voice was a whisper, but every word landed like a hammer. "This is your last breath, old man. In 3 days, Sienna posts the video. You look like a monster. Chloe files the competency petition. We already have Dr. Ambrose's preliminary statement. Evan moves the house deed through a bridge lien while you're recovering. By the time you wake up, if you wake up, everything's ours. The accounts, the property, the business. You built it all and we're cashing out. You were always too stubborn to just hand it over, so we're taking it. Simple. Before we continue, we ask you to hit the hype button, subscribe, and like the video to help the channel grow. Tell us which city you are from in the comments. We would like to get to know our audience better." He straightened. Checked his watch, waited. 60 seconds. My lungs burned, but I'd done worse. 3 years in construction before OSHA-mandated respirators had left me with reduced capacity, sure, but also an iron tolerance for discomfort. I could hold my breath for 2 minutes when I had to. I'd tested it last month in the pool, just to know. 70 seconds. Travis sighed, pulled out his phone, typed something, probably a text. "It's done, maybe." Or, "He's out." 80 seconds. The alarm started beeping, soft at first, then insistent. Travis reconnected the line, smoothed his jacket, walked to the door just as a nurse's silhouette appeared in the hallway. "I was just checking on him," Travis said, voice thick with fake concern. "The alarm, is he okay?" "Step back, please." That was Oksana. I recognized her voice, sharp, efficient, no nonsense. Ukrainian accent. She'd been my charge nurse since I came in 3 days ago with what the ER thought was pneumonia, but turned out to be a bad reaction to mold exposure at a site inspection. She moved past Travis, checked the oxygen line, scanned the monitors. Her eyes flicked to the wall port, then to me. I let my eyelids flutter just enough. She saw it. "You need to leave," she told Travis. "Visiting hours are over." "I'm his son." "I know who you are. Leave now, or I'll call security." Travis left. The door clicked shut. Oksana leaned over me. "Mr. Holt, I know you're awake." I opened my eyes. "How much did you hear?" she asked quietly. "All of it." She nodded, pulled a penlight, checked my pupils. Professional. Then, she lowered her voice. "The alarm log will show the disconnect. 92 seconds. I'm documenting the exact time your son was alone in this room. If you need that information, you'll have it." "Thank you. Do you want me to report this?" "No. Not yet. But I need you to do something else." "What?" "Call my wife. Tell her to bring Iris Coleman, the attorney. Tell her it's urgent. Tell her we're changing the will tonight." Oksana studied me for a long moment. Then she picked up the bedside phone and dialed. Marilyn arrived 40 minutes later with Iris in tow. My wife looked calm, but I saw the tightness around her mouth. She'd worked enough trauma cases to know when something was critical. Iris was younger than I'd expected. Mid-40s, dark suit, leather bag, no jewelry except a watch. She set up a laptop on the tray table and pulled a portable document scanner from her bag. "Oksana briefed me," Iris said. "We're doing an emergency restatement of your estate, revocable living trust, full revocation of any prior powers of attorney, and immediate termination of secondary account permissions. We're also documenting your competency right now, tonight, while you're witnessed and on record." "Can we do that?" I asked. I'm in a hospital bed. We can, and we will. I've arranged a telenotary. She'll join by video in 5 minutes. We'll record the entire session. You'll affirm your identity, your intent, and your understanding of the documents. Oksana will serve as a medical witness to confirm you're lucid and not under duress. Marilyn will witness as your spouse. This will hold up. What about Travis's competency petition? Marilyn asked. He hasn't filed it yet, Iris said. If he does, we'll counter with this. Time-stamped, medically verified, recorded. A judge will see that Daniel acted decisively and rationally within hours of the alleged incident. That's not the behavior of someone lacking capacity. The laptop screen flickered. A woman's face appeared. Mid-50s, glasses, professional backdrop. Good evening. I'm Notary Rebecca Stern. Mr. Holt, can you confirm your full legal name and date of birth for the record? I did. For the next 90 minutes, I signed documents. Iris walked me through every clause. The language was dense, but the intent was simple. Everything I owned now sat inside a revocable trust. I was the trustee. Marilyn was the successor. Travis, Chloe, and their spouses had no access, no authority, no claim until I was gone, and even then, only if the trust allowed it. Every prior power of attorney was void. Every joint account permission was revoked. Every emergency contact designation was stripped. The notary witnessed it all. Oksana documented the timeline. Iris saved 3 copies to encrypted cloud storage. When it was done, Iris closed her laptop. This is effective immediately. I'll file notice with your banks first thing in the morning. By noon tomorrow, Travis and Chloe will have 0 access to your accounts. Good, I said. Marilyn squeezed my hand. Her eyes were dry, but I saw the fury beneath the calm. What do you want to do about the video Sienna's planning to post? Let her post it, I said. We'll deal with it. Iris raised an eyebrow. You're sure? I'm sure. I want them to think they're winning. Right up until they're not. All right, Iris said. She packed her bag. Get some rest, Mr. Holt. You're going to need it. This is just the opening move. She left. Marilyn stayed. She sat in the chair beside my bed, and for a long time, neither of us spoke. Finally, she said, They tried to terminate you, Daniel. I know. Your own son. I know. What are we going to do? I looked at the ceiling. The fluorescent light hummed. Somewhere down the hall, a monitor alarm chimed. We're going to take everything, I said. Every dollar, every asset, every shred of credibility. We're going to dismantle them piece by piece, and we're going to do it clean. No lies, no fraud, just the truth, documented and filed. Marilyn nodded slowly. I'll start pulling together the receipts. Good. She leaned over and kissed my forehead. Get some sleep. Tomorrow we go to work. She left. I closed my eyes, but I didn't sleep. I ran through the plan in my head, step by step, permit by permit, filing by filing. Travis thought he was smarter than me. He thought I was just an old man who swung hammers for a living. He was about to learn the difference between building something and tearing it down. Travis came back the next morning. I was sitting up in bed, eating terrible oatmeal, when he walked in. He had flowers, daisies. Marilyn hated daisies. Hey, Dad, he said. Big smile, concerned eyes. How are you feeling? Better. That's great. Really great. You gave us a scare. Did I? He set the flowers on the windowsill, pulled a chair close, leaned in like we were sharing secrets. Listen, I wanted to talk to you about something. I know this isn't the best time, but Chloe and I have been talking, and we think it might be smart to get some things in order. You know, just in case. Powers of attorney, healthcare directives, that kind of thing. Purely precautionary. I already took care of it, I said. His smile faltered, just a flicker. Oh, when? Last night. Last night? You mean here? In the hospital? That's right. With a lawyer? With my lawyer. He sat back. The smile was gone now. Dad, you were just admitted. You're on medication. Don't you think you should have waited until you were home? Clear-headed? I was clear-headed. Were you? He pulled out his phone, tapped the screen, turned it toward me. Because I have a very different impression. The video started playing. It was me, 2 days ago, yelling at an orderly. The kid had brought me lunch late and I'd snapped at him. Not my finest moment, but understandable given the circumstances. Except the video was edited. Tight cuts, my voice louder. The orderly's face digitally blurred. The context stripped away. It looked bad. It looked like an angry old man having a meltdown. Sienna has more, Travis said quietly. Hours of footage, you yelling at staff, refusing medication, saying things you probably don't remember. If we need to, we can establish a pattern of confusion and aggression. Doctors will testify that your judgment was impaired. A judge will agree. He leaned forward again. So here's what's going to happen. You're going to revoke whatever you signed last night. You're going to designate Chloe and me as co-trustees. You're going to let us help you manage things while you recover. And in return, none of this goes public. We keep it in the family. I took another bite of oatmeal. Chewed slowly, swallowed. Get out, I said. Dad, get out of my room, Travis, right now. He stood. The mask slipped completely. His face went cold. You're making a mistake, he said. A big one. I filed the competency petition an hour ago. There's a hearing in 72 hours. If you don't cooperate, you're going to lose everything in court instead of keeping it in the family. Your choice. He walked out. I set down the oatmeal, pulled out my phone, texted Marilyn. He took the bait. It's war now. Her reply came back in seconds. Good. Let's burn them down. Iris called an hour later. I've seen the petition, she said. It's weak, procedurally sloppy, but it'll still require a response, and the hearing will be public unless we move to seal it. Do you want to fight this quietly or loudly? Loudly, I said. I want everyone to see what they're doing. All right, I'll file a counter motion. We'll present the telenotary session, the medical witness statements, and Oksana's alarm log. We'll also demand that Travis produce the full, unedited footage of any video evidence he plans to use. If he's edited it, we'll prove it. Can you prove it? If the metadata's intact, yes. If he's smart, he scrubbed it. But most people aren't that smart. He's not, I said. He's reckless. He thinks charm and money solve everything. Good. Reckless is easy to beat. She hung up. I stared at the ceiling for a while. Ran through the next 72 hours in my head. Travis would push harder now. Sienna would post the video. Chloe would start making moves on the property, and I'd be ready for all of it. Sienna posted the video that afternoon. It went up on her Instagram, 80,000 followers, mostly aspirational suburbanites who bought into her wellness and authenticity brand. The caption read, "Sometimes the hardest truths are the ones we don't want to face. Watching a loved one struggle with anger and confusion is heartbreaking. Sending love and light to everyone navigating these difficult journeys. Family first. Mental health matters. Aging with grace." The video was the same one Travis had shown me. Tight edits, me yelling, the orderly's blurred face, no context. The comments rolled in, sympathetic, concerned, a few people suggesting elder care facilities. Marilyn called. "Have you seen it?" "Yeah." "Do you want me to respond?" "No. Let it sit. Let people think what they think. We'll correct the record when it matters." "Oksana pulled the raw footage from the hospital security system," Marilyn said. "It shows the full interaction. You were frustrated because the orderly brought you a meal with shellfish, and you're allergic. You told him 3 times. He ignored you. You raised your voice. That's it. No meltdown, no confusion." "Can we use that?" "Iris already has it. She's preparing a filing." "Good." I hung up and opened my laptop. Pulled up a folder I'd been building for 6 months. It was labeled Receipts. Inside were screenshots, bank statements, invoices, DMs, HOA violation notices, photos, videos. A spreadsheet Marilyn had started called Risk and Remedies. Every time Travis had borrowed money and not paid it back. Every time Sienna had lied about a sponsorship deal. Every time Chloe had dodged a contractor's invoice. Every time Evan had overpromised and underdelivered. 6 months of small, verifiable truths. I didn't need to lie about my kids. I just needed to show people who they really were. I started uploading files to a secure shared folder. Iris would know what to do with them. The hearing was set for Thursday morning. I was discharged from the hospital on Tuesday afternoon against medical advice because I needed to be home. I needed my office, my files, my space. Marilyn drove me. We didn't talk much. She knew I was running scenarios in my head. When we pulled into the driveway, I saw it immediately. Fresh tire tracks in the gravel leading to the side gate. Someone had been here. I got out slowly. My knee ached. Old injury from a fall off a scaffold 20 years ago. But I kept my weight even and walked to the gate. It was unlocked. "Stay in the car," I told Marilyn. "Daniel, stay in the car." I pushed the gate open, walked into the backyard. The garage door was ajar. I stepped inside. Everything looked normal at first, toolboxes in place, lawn equipment lined up. Then I saw it. My old laptop was gone, the one I kept on the workbench for site notes and safety checklists. I pulled out my phone, opened the security app, scrubbed back through the footage. There. Last night. 11:47 p.m. A figure in a dark hoodie, face obscured, entering through the side gate. Picking the garage lock. Badly, it took him 4 minutes, and grabbing the laptop. I zoomed in. The gait was wrong for Travis. Too lean, younger. Evan. I texted Iris. "They stole my laptop. Garage cam caught it. Sending footage." Her reply, "Do not confront him. Let me handle it." I walked back to the car. Marilyn was watching me through the windshield, her face tight. "Someone took my laptop," I said. "Which one?" "The old one, from the garage." "The one with the decoy files?" "That's the one." She allowed herself a small smile. "They actually fell for it." They did. We went inside. The decoy had been Marilyn's idea. 6 months ago, when we first started noticing the pattern, the borrowing, the entitlement, the whispered conversations that stopped when we entered the room, she'd suggested we prepare for the worst. "They're going to come for the money eventually," she'd said. "When they do, they'll try to find leverage, documents, passwords, anything they can use." So we'd built a trap. The old laptop had a folder labeled Revocable Trust, Keys. Inside were documents that looked official. Property deeds, safe deposit box instructions, access codes. All of it was real enough to be convincing and fake enough to be useless. The real documents were with Iris. The real codes were in a hardware token locked in her office safe. The real property had already been transferred into the trust, but Travis and Evan didn't know that. They thought they'd stolen the keys to the kingdom. I spent Tuesday night reviewing Iris's counterfiling. It was a masterpiece. 30 pages of documented competency, medical witness statements, tele-notary certification, and a formal demand for Travis to produce the full, unedited footage of any video evidence. She'd also attached a sworn statement from Oksana detailing the oxygen disconnect, the alarm log, and the timeline of Travis's visit. "We're not accusing him of attempted harm," Iris had written in her cover email. "We're simply establishing that Daniel was lucid, aware, and capable of making decisions even under duress. If Travis wants to claim incompetence, he'll have to explain why Daniel's memory of the ICU visit is so detailed and accurate." I called her. "This is good. Really good." "It's airtight," she said. "But you need to prepare for them to escalate. They're going to panic when they see this. Panic makes people stupid, but it also makes them dangerous." "I'm ready." "Are you?" "Because from here on out, this stops being paperwork and starts being personal. They're going to come at you hard. Publicly, privately. They'll try to isolate you, discredit you, maybe even physically intimidate you. You need to stay calm and stay clean. No confrontations, no threats, just documentation. I understand. Good. Get some rest. I'll see you in court on Thursday. Wednesday morning, Chloe called. Dad, we need to talk. About what? About this situation. With Travis, the hearing. It's gotten out of hand. Can we meet? Just you and me? I think we can fix this if we just sit down and talk like adults. Where? The house. My house. Evan's at work. It'll just be us. I'll think about it. Dad, please. I don't want this to turn into a war. We're family. I hung up. Marilyn was watching me from the kitchen table. What did she want? To talk. At her house. It's a setup. I know. Are you going? Maybe. If I do, I'm wired. And you're listening. She nodded. Pulled a small recording device from her purse. Hospital grade, used for patient interviews. Legal in our state as long as one party consents. If you go, she said, don't sign anything, don't agree to anything. Just listen, let her talk. People always tell you who they are if you give them enough rope. I know. I called Chloe back. I'll come. 2:00. Thank you, Dad. Really, thank you. Chloe's house was in a gated community 20 minutes south. New construction, builder-grade luxury, the kind of place where every house looked the same except for the mailbox. She'd bought it 3 years ago with Evan's syndication money, which as far as I could tell meant taking investments from people who didn't read contracts and then blaming market conditions when returns didn't materialize. I parked in the driveway, checked the recording device in my jacket pocket. Texted Marilyn, I'm here. Her reply, I'm listening. Be smart. Chloe opened the door before I knocked. She looked tired. No makeup, hair in a ponytail. For a moment I almost felt sorry for her. Then I remembered the HOA lien she'd tried to quietly file against my property 6 months ago, claiming I owed her money for consulting fees on a job I'd never hired her for. Come in, she said. Can I get you anything? Water? Coffee? I'm fine. We sat in the living room. White furniture, glass tables. Everything looked staged, like a showroom. Probably was. Chloe's business had been struggling for over a year. So, she said, Travis told me about the hearing, about the petition. Dad, I want you to know I didn't agree with that. I told him it was too aggressive. But you signed the supporting affidavit. Her face flushed. Yes, I did. But only because Travis said you were making decisions that didn't make sense. He said you were putting yourself at risk, and we needed to protect you. Protect me from what? From, I don't know, from making mistakes, from being taken advantage of. By who? You? She looked away. That's not fair. Chloe, let's not pretend. You tried to put a lien on my house. You told the county I owed you $23,000 for work you never did. You thought I wouldn't notice because you filed it quietly, through a shell LLC, but I saw it. I see everything. That was a misunderstanding. It was fraud. Dad, why am I here, Chloe? What do you really want? She was quiet for a long time. Then she stood, walked to the kitchen, came back with a folder, set it on the coffee table between us. Evan and I are in trouble, she said quietly. Real trouble. We owe money. A lot of money. The business isn't covering it. We're 3 months behind on the mortgage. If we don't come up with $150,000 by the end of the month, we lose the house. That's not my problem. I know it's not. But you're my father. And I'm asking, I'm begging, for help. Just this once. A loan, a bridge, anything. I'll pay you back, I swear. How? I don't know yet, but I will. You won't. You never have. Her eyes filled with tears. Real ones, I thought, or maybe just well-practiced. Please, she said, I'm desperate. I opened the folder. Inside were documents, a proposed loan agreement, terms that were laughably one-sided, a personal guarantee clause that would have made me liable for their debts if they defaulted, a quiet lien authorization buried in the fine print. You want me to sign this? I said. It's just a formality, a legal protection for both of us. This isn't a loan, Chloe. This is a trap. You're asking me to co-sign your disaster and then take the fall when it collapses. That's not... Did Evan write this? She didn't answer. Of course he did. I closed the folder, stood up. I'm not signing anything, and I'm not giving you money. You made your choices. You live with them. Dad, please. I'm done, Chloe. With you, with Travis, with all of it. You want my money? Earn it. Build something. Work for it like I did. I walked to the door. You're going to regret this, she said. Her voice was different now, colder. When you're alone and you need us, we won't be there. And it'll be your fault. I turned back, looked at her, really looked. I've been alone since the day you all decided I was worth more gone than present, I said. This isn't new. You're just noticing it now. I left. In the car, I pulled out the recording device, rewound it, played it back, crystal clear. Every word. I texted Iris. Got it. Sending now. Her reply. Perfect. This establishes motive and coordination. If they claim you're paranoid or irrational, we show them this. They're building our case for us. I drove home. Marilyn was waiting in the driveway. How bad? She asked. Bad. She wanted me to co-sign a loan that would have buried me. Evan wrote it. She cried. Then she threatened me. Did you get it? Every word. She nodded. Good. Let's go inside. Iris wants to conference call before the hearing tomorrow. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. Fluorescent lights, worn carpet, a judge's bench that looked like it had been carved in the 70s and never updated. Judge Carolyn Pryor presided, mid-60s, reading glasses on a chain, reputation for no-nonsense efficiency. Travis sat on the left side with his attorney, a young guy in an expensive suit who looked like he billed by the syllable. Sienna was beside him, dressed in muted tones, playing the concerned daughter-in-law. Chloe and Evan sat behind them. I sat on the right with Iris. Marilyn was in the gallery. Judge Pryor reviewed the filings in silence for a full 5 minutes. Then she looked up. Counsel for petitioner, you're claiming Mr. Daniel Holt lacks the mental capacity to execute legal documents. Is that correct? Travis's attorney stood. Yes, Your Honor. We believe Mr. Holt was under significant medical duress at the time of signing, and his judgment was impaired by medication and emotional distress. We have video evidence suggesting confusion and aggression. And counsel for respondent, you're claiming this petition is retaliatory and without merit. Is that correct? Iris stood. Yes, Your Honor. We have documented evidence that Mr. Holt was fully competent at the time of signing. We also have evidence suggesting the petitioner and his associates have engaged in a coordinated effort to manipulate and defraud Mr. Holt, and that this petition is part of that effort. Judge Pryor's eyebrows went up slightly. That's a serious accusation. We're prepared to prove it. All right. Let's start with the video evidence. Counsel for petitioner, I assume you've brought the full, unedited footage as requested? Travis's attorney hesitated. Your Honor, we have the relevant segments. The full footage, counsel. That was the order. Your Honor, the full footage it's several hours long. We extracted the relevant portions to save the court's time. I didn't ask you to save my time. I asked you to produce the full footage. Do you have it or not? Another pause. We're still working to retrieve the complete files. There were some technical issues with the storage. Technical issues. Judge Pryor set down her pen. Counsel, are you telling me you edited the footage and then lost the originals? Not lost, Your Honor. Misplaced. Temporarily. Uh-huh. She turned to Iris. Do you have the hospital's security footage? Iris stood. We do, Your Honor. It shows the full interaction that was edited in petitioner's video. It also shows Mr. Holt behaving rationally, appropriately, and within normal bounds of frustration for someone who had been given food to which he is severely allergic, despite multiple warnings. I'd like to see that. Iris pulled a laptop from her bag. Connected it to the courtroom display. The video played. 10 minutes of footage. Me talking to the orderly, explaining the allergy, asking him to check the meal. The orderly brushing me off. Me raising my voice, not yelling, just firm, and calling for the nurse. Then Oksana arriving, checking the tray, confirming shellfish, apologizing, taking the tray away. Normal, human, justified. Judge Pryor watched in silence. When it ended, she looked at Travis's attorney. Is this the interaction your client characterized as a meltdown? Your Honor, context can be... It's a yes or no question, counsel. The edited version highlights, answer the question. A long pause. Yes, Your Honor. I see. She made a note. Let's move on to the competency evaluation. Counsel for respondent, you've submitted documentation of a telenotarized session that occurred within hours of the alleged incident. Walk me through that. Iris did. Step by step. The telenotary, the medical witness, the recorded session, the timestamps, the alarm logs from Oksana showing exactly when Travis had been in the room and exactly when the oxygen had been disconnected. Judge Pryor's face didn't change, but I saw her jaw tighten. Are you alleging, she said slowly, that the petitioner disconnected his father's oxygen while his father was hospitalized? We're not alleging anything, Your Honor. We're presenting documented evidence and letting the court draw its own conclusions. Uh-huh. Judge Pryor turned to Travis. Mr. Holt, Travis Holt, stand up. Travis stood. He looked confident, too confident. Did you disconnect your father's oxygen during your visit to the ICU on the night of his admission? No, Your Honor. Absolutely not. Were you alone with your father at any point during that visit? Yes, briefly, but I didn't touch anything. I was just sitting with him. The alarm log shows a 92-second disconnection during the time you were alone in the room. How do you explain that? I don't know. Maybe it was loose. Maybe it came unplugged on its own. Oxygen lines don't come unplugged on their own, Mr. Holt. They require deliberate force to disconnect. Travis's attorney stood. Your Honor, this is speculation. There's no direct evidence. Sit down, counsel. Judge Pryor didn't look away from Travis. Mr. Holt, I'm going to ask you one more time. Did you disconnect your father's oxygen? Travis's face went pale. He looked at his attorney, looked at Sienna, looked back at the judge. I want to invoke my Fifth Amendment, right against self-incrimination. The courtroom went silent. Judge Pryor leaned back in her chair. I'm going to deny this petition. The evidence shows that Daniel Holt was fully competent at the time of signing, and that this petition is, at best, premature and, at worst, part of a coordinated effort to undermine his autonomy. The emergency restatement of the estate stands as valid and binding. Travis's attorney started to object. Judge Pryor cut him off. We're done here. Petition denied. Court adjourned. She stood and left. I sat very still. Beside me, Iris closed her laptop. That went better than expected, she said quietly. Yeah. We stood. Travis was already walking toward the exit, Sienna and his attorney trailing behind. Chloe and Evans stayed in their seats, whispering furiously. As I passed Travis in the hallway, he turned. This isn't over, he said. I know, I said. But you're losing. His face twisted. I'll destroy you financially. You think you've won? You have no idea what's coming. I didn't respond, just kept walking. Behind me, I heard Iris say, Mr. Holt, I'd advise you to refrain from making threats in a public courthouse. It's not a good look. Travis said something I didn't catch. Marilyn met me outside. We walked to the car in silence. You okay? She asked. Yeah. He threatened you. He did. What are you going to do? I'm going to let him try. The financial collapse started that afternoon. Iris had sent revocation notices to every bank, brokerage, and credit union where I held accounts. By 2 p.m., every joint access permission, every secondary card holder authorization, every co-signer relationship was terminated. Travis's credit lines, the ones he'd built using my accounts as collateral, evaporated. By 4 p.m., his broker had issued a margin call. By 6 p.m., his fintech startup was insolvent. Marilyn tracked it all in real time, pulling data from public filings and credit monitoring services. She'd built a spreadsheet, every account, every debt, every point of leverage. He's underwater by at least 400,000, she said. And that's just what I can see. The private debts are probably worse. What about Chloe? She's worse. The event business has been bleeding for months. Evan's syndication deals are all in default. They owe vendors, venues, contractors, and now the mortgage is overdue. How long until foreclosure? 90 days, maybe less. Depends on how aggressively the lender moves. I nodded. What about Sienna? Her sponsorships are dropping. 3 brands have pulled contracts in the last 24 hours. Apparently, some of her followers started digging into her background after the video. Turns out she's lied about a lot of things. Certifications she doesn't have, retreats that never happened, products she claims to use but doesn't. Good. Marilyn looked at me. You're not happy about this. I'm not happy that it came to this, but I'm not sorry either. She reached across the table and took my hand. They made their choices, Daniel. You're just holding them accountable. I know. We sat there for a while, watching the numbers update on her screen. Then my phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Hello? Mr. Holt, this is Detective Raymond Torres with the County Sheriff's Office. I'd like to ask you a few questions about an incident at a commercial warehouse on Bridger Street. Are you available to come in? My stomach tightened. What kind of incident? I'd rather discuss it in person. Can you come to the station tomorrow morning? Say 9 a.m.? What's this about? Just a few questions, Mr. Holt. Routine follow-up. Am I being accused of something? No, sir. Not at this time. But I do need to speak with you. I looked at Marilyn. She was already pulling up her phone, texting Iris. I'll be there, I said. With my attorney. That's your right. See you tomorrow. He hung up. Marilyn's phone buzzed. She read the text. Iris says don't say anything until she's in the room with you. She'll meet you at the station at 8:30. What do you think this is about? I don't know. But if Travis is smart, and I'm not saying he is, he's trying to flip this, make himself the victim. How? Harassment? Intimidation? Maybe he's claiming you threatened him. Maybe he's saying you're stalking him. I don't know, but you need to be ready. I nodded. Okay. Daniel, listen to me. Do not lose your temper. Do not react. Just answer the questions, tell the truth, and let Iris handle the rest. Understood? Understood. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept running through scenarios. What had Travis told the police? What had he lied about? At 2 a.m., I gave up and went downstairs, made coffee, opened my laptop. The folder labeled Receipts was still there. I scrolled through it. Screenshots of Travis's social media, photos of expensive dinners, luxury trips, designer clothes, all posted within the last 6 months, all purchased with credit lines tied to my accounts. Invoices Chloe had sent for consulting work that never happened. Emails from Evan pitching me on investment opportunities that were thinly veiled scams. Messages from Sienna asking me to sponsor her retreats, with promises of exposure that never materialized. A pattern, clear and documented. I forwarded the entire folder to Iris with a note, in case you need it tomorrow. Her reply came back 5 minutes later. Already have it. Get some sleep. You're going to need it. The sheriff's station was a squat building off the highway. Concrete walls, chain-link fence, a flag drooping in the still morning air. Iris met me in the parking lot. She was dressed in another dark suit, hair pulled back, no expression. Whatever they ask you, she said, answer honestly and briefly. Do not volunteer information. Do not speculate. If I tell you not to answer, don't answer. Clear? Clear. And if they try to separate us, we leave. You have a right to counsel present, and we're exercising it. We went inside. Detective Torres was waiting in a small interview room. Mid-40s, graying hair, tired eyes. He shook my hand, nodded at Iris, gestured for us to sit. Thanks for coming in, Mr. Holt. I'll get right to it. We received a complaint from your son, Travis Holt. He's alleging that you've been harassing him, sending threatening messages, showing up at his home unannounced, creating a hostile environment. He's also claiming that you've made verbal threats against him and his wife. Can you tell me your side of the story? I looked at Iris. She nodded. I haven't sent Travis any threatening messages, I said. I haven't shown up at his home. I haven't made any threats. Torres pulled out a folder. He's provided screenshots of text messages from your number. He slid a printout across the table. I looked at it. The messages were vile, profane, threatening, and they were supposedly from my number. But I'd never sent them. This isn't me, I said. It's your number. Someone spoofed it. Torres raised an eyebrow. Spoofed it. Yes. It's not difficult. There are apps that let you fake a caller ID or text origin. This is a setup. Iris leaned forward. Detective, my client's phone records will show whether these messages were actually sent from his device. I assume you've already subpoenaed them? Torres hesitated. Not yet. Then I suggest you do. Because if you compare the metadata from these screenshots to his actual phone logs, you'll find they don't match. Someone is framing my client, and my guess is it's the same person making the complaint. Torres looked at the printouts, then at me. You're saying your son faked these? I'm saying someone did. And Travis has motive. We're in the middle of a legal dispute over my estate. He filed a competency petition against me last month. It was denied. Since then, he's been trying to find other ways to discredit me. Why would he do that? Because I cut him off, financially. He'd been using my credit and my accounts as collateral for his business ventures. When I revoked access, his credit lines collapsed. He lost everything. Now he's desperate. Torres sat back, tapped his pen on the table. All right. I'll pull the phone records. If what you're saying is true, we'll know. But Mr. Holt, I need you to stay away from your son for now. No contact, no messages, nothing. Understood? I haven't been contacting him. Well, don't start. If this escalates, I don't want you anywhere near it. Understood. We left. In the parking lot, Iris said, That was a warning shot. Travis is trying to build a narrative where you're the aggressor and he's the victim. We need to stay ahead of this. How? Document everything. If he tries to contact you, record it. If he shows up at your home, call the police. Don't engage, don't react. Just let him hang himself. And if he keeps pushing? Then we push back. Hard, but not yet. Right now, we let the phone records do the talking. Marilyn was waiting when I walked in. She'd set up her laptop at the kitchen table, surrounded by papers and file folders. How did it go? She asked. About as expected. Torres is pulling the phone records. He'll know the messages are fake within a few days. And then? And then the complaint fades out. But Iris believes Travis will push things further before that happens. Marilyn nodded. She's probably right. He's got nothing left to lose now. What are you working on? She gestured at the papers. Building the next layer. If Travis is going to escalate, we need to be ready with documentation. I'm pulling together every financial transaction he's made in the last 2 years. Every credit application, every margin call, every default notice. That's a lot of work. It's necessary work. She looked at me. Daniel, we're winning. But winning isn't the same as finished. We need to close every door, seal every window. No openings, no vulnerabilities. I understand. Wednesday morning, Chloe called. Dad, we need to talk. About what? About this situation. With Travis, the hearing. It's gotten out of hand. Can we meet? Just you and me? I think we can fix this if we just sit down and talk like adults. Where? The house. My house. Evan's at work. It'll just be us. I'll think about it. Dad, please. I don't want this to turn into a war. We're family. I hung up. Marilyn was watching me from the kitchen table. What did she want? To talk. At her house. It's a setup. I know. Are you going? Maybe. If I do, I'm wired, and you're listening. She nodded, pulled a small recording device from her purse. Hospital grade, used for patient interviews. Legal in our state as long as one party consents. If you go, she said, don't sign anything, don't agree to anything, just listen. I know, I called Chloe back. I'll come, 2 o'clock. Chloe's house was in a gated community 20 minutes south. New construction, builder-grade luxury. I parked in the driveway, checked the recording device in my jacket pocket. Texted Marilyn. I'm here. Her reply. I'm listening. Be smart. Chloe opened the door before I knocked. She looked tired, no makeup, hair in a ponytail. Come in, she said. Can I get you anything? Water? Coffee? I'm fine. We sat in the living room. White furniture, glass tables. So, she said, Travis told me about the hearing, about the petition. Dad, I want you to know I didn't agree with that. I told him it was too aggressive. But you signed the supporting affidavit. Her face flushed. Yes, I did. But only because Travis said you were making decisions that didn't make sense. Protect me from what? From, I don't know, from making mistakes. Chloe, let's not pretend. You tried to put a lien on my house. You told the county I owed you $23,000 for work you never did. That was a misunderstanding. It was fraud. Dad, why am I here, Chloe? What do you really want? She was quiet for a long time. Then she stood, walked to the kitchen, came back with a folder, set it on the coffee table between us. Evan and I are in trouble, she said quietly. Real trouble. We owe money. A lot of money. If we don't come up with $150,000 by the end of the month, we lose the house. That's not my problem. I know, but you're my father, and I'm begging for help. Just this once, a loan. I'll pay you back. How? I don't know yet, but I will. You won't. You never have. Her eyes filled with tears. Please, I'm desperate. I opened the folder. Inside were documents. A proposed loan agreement. Terms that were laughably one-sided. A personal guarantee clause that would have made me liable for their debts if they defaulted. You want me to sign this, I said. It's just a formality. This isn't a loan, Chloe. This is a trap. You're asking me to co-sign your disaster and then take the fall when it collapses. That's not... Did Evan write this? She didn't answer. I'm not signing anything, and I'm not giving you money. I walked to the door. You're going to regret this, she said. Her voice was different now, colder. When you're alone and you need us, we won't be there. I turned back. I've been alone since the day you all decided I was worth more gone than present. This isn't new. I left. In the car, I pulled out the recording device, rewound it, played it back, crystal clear. Every word. I texted Iris. Got it. Sending now. Her reply. Perfect. This establishes motive and coordination. 2 days later, Detective Torres called. Mr. Holt, I've reviewed the phone records. The metadata doesn't match. Those messages were not sent from your device. Relief flooded through me. So what happens now? I'm closing the complaint. There's no evidence of harassment on your part. Thank you. One more thing. Be careful. Whoever made those fake messages knew your number, your son's number, and enough about your situation to make it believable. That's targeted. Someone spent time on this. I understand. He hung up. I immediately called Iris. Torres confirmed the messages were fake. Excellent. I'm filing a motion to include this in our defamation case against Sienna. If Travis and Sienna are coordinating to frame you, that's conspiracy. Do it. That night, I was in the garage when I heard the car, engine idling, headlights sweeping across the driveway. I walked to the window, Evan's truck. I pulled out my phone, started recording. Evan got out, walked up the driveway, stopped at the front door, knocked. I didn't answer. He knocked again, harder. Daniel, I know you're in there. Open the door. We need to talk. I stayed silent. Daniel, come on. Don't be childish. Just open the door. I opened the door, held the phone up, made sure he could see the red recording light. I'm recording, I said. What do you want? His face tightened. You need to stop this. Whatever you're doing to Chloe, the credit, the banks, the vendors, you need to stop. She's your daughter. She's struggling, and you're making it worse. I'm not making it worse. I'm just not fixing it anymore. That's the same thing. No, it's not. He stepped closer. I stepped back, keeping the phone between us. You're going to regret this, he said. You think you're teaching us a lesson? You're just making enemies. I already had enemies. I'm just naming them now. His hand moved like he was going to grab the phone. I pulled it back. Don't, I said. He stopped, stared at me, then turned and walked back to his truck. I watched him drive away. Then I sent the video to Iris with a note. Another one for the file. 3 days later, the warehouse happened. I'd been doing a safety audit at an industrial complex off Route 9. Routine work, contract job, nothing unusual. The facility manufactured automotive parts, which meant heavy machinery, tight clearances, and 1,000 potential OSHA violations if they weren't careful. They'd hired me to do a quarterly walkthrough and certify their compliance. I was in the back bay, finishing up paperwork on a clipboard. The space was mostly empty. End of the day, most workers gone home. Just a few trucks in the loading bays and a supervisor doing inventory in the far corner. The overhead lights cast harsh shadows across the concrete floor. Forklifts sat idle near the walls. Pallets of shrink-wrapped parts were stacked 20 feet high. That's when I saw Travis's car pull into the lot. I recognized it immediately. Black sedan, vanity plates. He parked at an angle blocking the fire lane, got out, looked around, found me. I set down my clipboard, pulled out my phone, hit record. He walked toward me, not hurrying, just a steady pace. His face was blank. That was the scary part. No anger, no emotion, just determination. Daniel. Travis. We need to talk. I don't think we do. Yeah, we do. He looked around the warehouse. The supervisor was out of sight now, deeper in the inventory rows. We were alone. You've pushed me too far. You've destroyed everything I built, my business, my reputation, my future, and for what? Because I wanted what's mine? Nothing was yours. I'm your son. You're a leech, and I'm done feeding you. His face went red. The blank mask cracked. He moved fast, faster than I expected for someone who spent his days behind a desk, and grabbed my jacket with both hands. An alarm shrieked. Loud, piercing, the kind of sound that cuts through everything. Travis froze. I'd backed into a motion sensor, standard safety equipment for facilities with dangerous machinery, designed to alert workers when someone enters a restricted zone. The sensor had triggered, and now the whole warehouse knew something was wrong. What the... Travis started. The supervisor came running from the inventory section, walkie-talkie in hand. What's going on here? Who triggered the alarm? Travis let go of me, stepped back. Nothing, he said. Just talking. The supervisor looked at me. You okay, Mr. Holt? I'm fine. This man was just leaving. The supervisor looked at Travis, really looked, saw the anger, saw the violation. Sir, this is private property. If Mr. Holt wants you gone, you're gone, now. Travis's hands clenched into fists. For a moment I thought he might actually throw a punch, but he looked up, saw the security cameras mounted in the corners, and thought better of it. This isn't over, he hissed at me. It never is with you. He turned and walked back to his car, slammed the door, peeled out of the parking lot. The supervisor waited until he was gone. You want me to call the cops? No, but I want a copy of the security footage from the last 10 minutes. Sure thing. He pulled out a tablet, tapped through a few menus. I can email it to you right now. We keep everything cloud-backed. Perfect. He tapped a few more times. My phone buzzed. New email. I opened it. The video was there. High resolution, multiple angles, clear audio of everything Travis had said. Thank you, I said. No problem. You sure you don't want me to file a report? Not necessary, but if he comes back, call the police immediately. He's not allowed on this property. Got it. I finished my paperwork, packed my gear, and drove home. On the way, I called Iris. Add assault to the list, I said. What happened? I told her. Everything. The grab, the alarm, the supervisor, the footage. Perfect, she said. That's battery. Physical contact without consent. Combined with the fake texts and Evan's threats, we now have a pattern of escalating behavior. I'll amend the restraining order petition to include this incident. The judge will grant it. No question. When? I can file the amendment today. Hearing will probably be scheduled within a week. In the meantime, stay away from Travis. If he approaches you again, call 911 immediately. Don't engage, don't respond, just document and report. Understood. Daniel, I'm serious. He's unraveling. When people unravel, they do stupid things. You need to protect yourself. I will. Good. I'll call you when the hearing is scheduled. A week later, Chloe's event business folded. Officially. She posted a statement on social media about unforeseen challenges and taking time to regroup. The post was carefully worded, designed to sound graceful and professional. But anyone who knew how to read between the lines could see the truth. She was bankrupt. The comments were brutal. Former clients complained about unfinished events. Vendors demanded payment for outstanding invoices. Competitors subtly celebrated her downfall with passive-aggressive sympathy. I didn't comment. I didn't need to. The same day, Evan's syndication deals started unraveling publicly. 3 investors filed complaints with the State Securities Board, alleging fraud and misrepresentation. Local business journals picked up the story. His website went dark. Sienna's influencer career was in freefall. Brand partnerships had evaporated. Her follower count was hemorrhaging daily. She'd posted a tearful video about cancel culture and unfair persecution, which only accelerated her decline. The comments section was merciless. Travis had gone completely silent. No social media posts, no public appearances, no business activity. Rumor was he'd moved out of state, though I hadn't verified it. I didn't care where he went, as long as he stayed gone. Marilyn was tracking it all in her spreadsheet. Every bankruptcy notice, every dropped contract, every public complaint. They're imploding, she said. All of them, simultaneously. Good. Daniel, look at me. I looked at her. Are you okay with this? With how completely we've destroyed them? They tried to destroy me first. I'm just defending what's mine. I know, but I need to know you're not going to regret this later. That you're not going to wake up in 5 years and feel guilty. I won't. How do you know? Because they made their choices. I gave them chances. I tried to help, and they responded by trying to rob me blind and make it look like I was incompetent. They unplugged my oxygen, Marilyn. Travis literally tried to end me. She nodded slowly. You're right. I just needed to hear you say it. I'm fine. We're fine. And when this is over, we'll still be fine. Them? They'll have to figure out their own way forward. Without my money. Without my support. Just like I built everything from nothing, they can do the same. If they're capable. If they're capable, I agreed. Then the laptop trap paid off. Travis had spent 2 weeks combing through the decoy files. According to the tracking software embedded in the documents, he'd accessed them 43 times. He'd photographed pages, printed others, cross-referenced information. He'd called locksmiths using phone numbers from the files, driven to addresses listed in the property documents, visited banks asking about safe deposit boxes. None of it was real, just a series of purposely designed paths that led nowhere. But Travis didn't know that, and now he thought he'd found the key. The decoy files included an address, a vacant mansion under renovation about 40 miles outside the county. The documentation made it look like I'd stashed important materials there. Account information, original trust documents, maybe even cash. It was all fabricated. But to someone desperate and not thinking clearly, it looked real. Travis texted me at 11:47 p.m. on a Thursday. "We need to meet. One last talk, just you and me." He gave me the address of the mansion. I showed Marilyn. "It's a trap," she said immediately. "I know. So what are you going to do?" "Spring it." She set down her tea, looked at me hard. "Daniel, listen to me very carefully. If you go to that location, you're putting yourself in danger. Travis is cornered. He's desperate and unpredictable. If you go into a secluded building with him, there's no telling what he might do. I'll be smart about it. I'll bring Iris on speed dial. I'll leave coordinates with you. I'll make sure the site security company knows I'm coming." "That's not enough." "It is if I prepare properly. That house has cameras. The renovation company maintains security. I'll notify them I'm conducting a pre-bid inspection. They'll log my arrival. If something happens, there's a record. And if Travis disables the cameras? He won't know how. He's not that sophisticated. He thinks he's being clever, but he's operating on desperation, not planning." Marilyn was quiet for a long moment. I could see her working through scenarios in her head, building contingencies. Finally, she nodded. "Okay, but you don't go alone, not all the way. I'll be in the car down the road, engine running, phone on, and Iris will be on standby. If anything happens, we call the cops immediately. Deal." "I'm serious, Daniel. You don't play hero. You don't try to handle him yourself. First sign of trouble, you walk out, and we get the police involved." "I understand." "Do you? Because I can't lose you over this. I can't lose you because you wanted to prove a point." I took her hands. "You won't lose me. I promise. This is the end game. After this, it's over. Travis will have nothing left. No money, no credibility, no leverage, just a signed confession and a restraining order. That's all I need." "A confession?" "He's going to tell me everything. Why he unplugged the oxygen, how he faked the texts, who helped him, all of it. Because he thinks he has leverage now. He thinks those fake files give him power. When he realizes they don't, he'll break. And I'll have it all on record." Marilyn studied my face. "You've been planning this. Since the day I let him steal the laptop. You really are your father's son. My father was a drunk who couldn't hold a job. I'm nothing like him. I meant it as a compliment. Your father was cunning when he needed to be. He just never had the discipline to back it up. You have both." I smiled. "Thanks, I think." She kissed my forehead. "Be careful tomorrow, please." "I will." I texted Travis back. "I'll be there, 8 p.m. His reply came instantly. "Come alone." I didn't respond. The mansion was a shell. 2 stories, mock colonial architecture, builder-grade luxury designed for a development that had stalled halfway through. Scaffolding inside, plastic sheeting everywhere, exposed wiring dangling from ceiling boxes. The renovation had stopped 8 months ago when the investor group dissolved in acrimony. Now it just sat empty, waiting for someone to restart the work or tear it down. Perfect place for a confrontation. Isolated, private, no neighbors for half a mile, except I'd made sure there were witnesses. That morning I'd called the site's security vendor, told them I was Daniel Holt, licensed facilities consultant, conducting a pre-bid safety inspection for potential renovation work. Asked them to note my arrival in their logs and make sure the surveillance cameras were operational. The dispatcher had been helpful. Confirmed that all 6 cameras were running, feeding to cloud storage with 48-hour retention. Logged my visit, asked if I needed an escort. I'd declined, said I'd be in and out within an hour. I parked outside at 7:53 p.m. The sun was setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. The mansion looked even more desolate in the fading light. I texted Marilyn. "I'm here, cameras are on, starting timer. Check in every 15 minutes. Her reply, "Confirmed. Be careful. I love you." Love you too. I got out, walked to the entrance. The front door was unlocked, standard for a renovation site during working hours. I pushed it open. Inside, the air smelled like sawdust and mildew and something else. Decay, maybe, from water damage in the walls. Floodlights rigged to portable generators cast harsh shadows across the plywood subfloors. Extension cords snaked across the ground. Paint cans and tool bags were scattered in corners. I heard footsteps above me. Second floor. Travis? Up here. I climbed the stairs. They creaked under my weight, new construction, but cheap materials. My knee ached with each step, old injury protesting. I kept my breathing steady, kept my phone in my hand, recording app already running. Found him on the second floor mezzanine, leaning against a temporary railing. He was backlit by a work light, his face in shadow. You came, he said. You asked. I didn't think you would. Not after everything. Here I am. He straightened, stepped into the light. His face was thinner than I remembered, exhausted, desperate. The expensive clothes were wrinkled. His hair was uncombed. You've destroyed me, he said. Everything I built, everything I worked for, gone. You built it on my back. You worked with my money. It was never yours. I'm your son. You tried to end me, Travis, in the ICU. You unplugged my oxygen and whispered a plan to steal everything I owned. You think I'd forget that? You think I'd just let it go? I was desperate. You needed nothing. You wanted. There's a difference. He moved suddenly, grabbed a length of rebar leaning against the wall. It was about 3 feet long, half-inch diameter, rusty at one end. He held it like a weapon. Tonight you're the one without air, he said. I didn't move, just watched him. Watched the way his hands shook slightly. Watched the way his eyes darted to the exits. Watched him trying to work up the courage to do something he didn't really want to do. Put it down, Travis. No, you're going to sign something. A waiver. A release. Something that says you lied about everything. That I never threatened you. That I never touched your oxygen. That you're making it all up because you're bitter and old and... There are cameras, Travis. He froze. This building is under security contract. There are cameras in every corner. They're recording right now, so if you want to swing that rebar, go ahead. But it'll be on tape, and you'll go to jail. He looked around, saw the small black domes mounted to the ceiling, saw the blinking red lights. His grip on the rebar loosened. I pulled a folder from my jacket, set it on a nearby sawhorse. This is everything, I said. The finalized trust, the POA revocations, the civil claims against you and Sienna, the documented threats, the warehouse footage, the faked text messages, all of it. Filed, sealed, executed. You can't. I already did. Then why are we here? Because you still have a choice. You can sign a waiver, a real one, admitting what you did, acknowledging the ICU incident, agreeing to drop any and all claims against me, reimbursing me for legal costs, consenting to the injunction against Sienna. And if I don't, then I publish everything, every receipt, every lie, every scam. I'll make sure everyone knows exactly who you are, your investors, your friends, your future employers, everyone. He stared at me. You're bluffing. Am I? I pulled out my phone, opened a draft email, showed him the screen. The recipient list was long. Investors, business partners, local media, his college alumni network. The subject line read, "The truth about Travis Holt." His face went white. You wouldn't. I would, and I will, unless you sign. He looked at the folder, at the rebar in his hand, at the cameras. Then he dropped the rebar. It clanged against the floor. Where do I sign? I pulled out the documents, laid them on the sawhorse, handed him a pen. Read it first, I said. He did. It took 10 minutes. His hands shook. This is everything. You're taking everything. I'm taking back what's mine. You can rebuild, Travis. You can start over. But not on my dime, not on my back, not anymore. He looked at me. For a moment, I thought I saw something like regret in his eyes. Then it was gone. He signed. I took the documents, time-stamped them with my phone, took a photo of Travis holding the signed waiver, the site's digital clock visible in the background. Now explain slowly how you unplugged my oxygen, I said. The cameras are recording. Tell me everything. Travis's face crumpled. What? You heard me. The ICU, the oxygen line, the 92 seconds, explain it. Now, while you're on camera. I can't. You can. And you will. Because those files you stole from my laptop, the ones about the coastal property and the safe deposit boxes, they were fake. All of it. Training documents I repurposed. The real keys are with Iris, hardware token logged and sealed. You spent 2 weeks chasing ghosts. His eyes went wide. No, I checked. I verified. You verified decoys. You fell for bait, and now you're going to tell me everything, or I send that email right now. He looked at the phone in my hand, looked at the cameras, looked at the signed documents. Then he started talking. He told me about the ICU, how he'd planned it with Sienna, how they'd researched alarm protocols, how he'd waited until the nurse stepped out, how he'd counted the seconds. He told me about the fake texts, how Evan had found the spoofing app, how Sienna had written the messages, how they'd coordinated the timing. He told me about the pressure campaign, the edited videos, the coordinated complaints, the plan to isolate me, discredit me, and force me to sign over control. All of it, every detail, on camera. When he finished, he was crying. Real tears this time. I'm sorry, he said. I'm so sorry. I was desperate. I thought you'd never know. You thought wrong. I picked up a hospital oxygen mask I'd brought, a spare from my ICU stay, set it on the concrete beside him. You took mine, I said. I'm taking back my right to my life, my house, my money. You wanted my last breath. Here's yours. No more living off mine. I turned toward the stairs. Dad, we're done, Travis. Don't contact me. Don't come near me. Don't even think about me. If you do, everything goes public. Understood? He nodded. Couldn't speak. I descended the stairs, crossed the plywood floor, pushed open the door. I walked to my truck, got in, started the engine. Through the rain-streaked windshield, I saw Travis appear in the doorway. He was standing there, soaked, staring at me. I texted Marilyn, "It's done. Coming home."